Hi, this is Lada from astrolada.com, and these are your October 2018 monthly horoscopes for each of the 12 signs. And as always, I'd like to start with a general feel of the whole month. For all the 12 signs will be the same introduction. Please listen to it because it's important. Everyone will feel this. Well, this month in October, there will be no planets in fire except the North Node, but that's not even a planet, which means that we might be feeling a little bit less energetic, a little bit less enthusiastic and excited, especially the fire signs like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius might feel a bit more on a downer. But this month is not meant for us to be so exciting. Actually, the universe knows its job because currently we're also going to have in October quite a few planets in Scorpio, which is very deep, intense, emotional. Uh, and especially Venus going retrograde there, which is all about deep emotional reevaluations. And not having fire planets actually can be a good thing because the other planets are in Earth signs and in air signs, so this will give us a bit more grounding during those emotional evaluations that we're doing in October, a little bit more practicality through the earth signs, a little bit more rationality and clarity from the air signs, from the sun in the air sign. Ah, so the most important thing though this month is that Venus is going to be retrograde in the sign of, basically the whole month is in the sign of Scorpio. So there will be some very deep psychological reevaluations of our values, our self-worth, of some of us, our relationships, of our finances, which sign it's on a bit different level, and they'll be very intense. They'll be taken out of because Scorpio is also a sign of the biggest transformations on a deep psychological level. This is not some superficial change that's going to happen in our life. This is going to be for each person on a different area of their life, some very profound transformation that you, and Scorpio is like all or nothing, black or white. So you would have, you with your evaluation ability, which is Venus, you would decide that something is either not worth to have any more in your life, and with the ruthless energy of Scorpio, where Venus is going to be and the helpful aspect, the stressful aspect from Mars, the ruler of Venus in Scorpio, we're going to either cut something out completely from our life, or we're going to decide that that's it. I'm going to recommit much deeper. I'm going to involve myself emotionally, psychologically, financially, emotionally, on a much deeper level, which is the other extreme of Scorpio, to something, to someone, to some vision or whatever in our life, depending where it's happening in your horoscope. So we'll be either cutting off something from our life, or totally embracing it deeply and totally like making it our own, possessing it, owning it, or taking control of it fully. And really, Venus is planet of love, recommitting to it with a deeper love. So there'll be intense transformations, very emotional, and hopefully those planets that are mostly in earth signs that will ground us and make us take more practical decisions, and in air, more reasonable decisions will help this process. But there is also another thing. Jupiter is in the last degrees, in the last 10 degrees of Scorpio this month. So for everyone in different area of their life, there will be some new powerful opportunities coming as well, because Jupiter is in on new 10 degrees. It hasn't been there since 12 years. So it's very interesting because they're both in the same sign. So in the same area of your life, you would be ruthlessly removing something or very deeply reevaluating and recommitting to something through Venus. And at the same time, some new opportunities will be opening for you. You first remove something, and then those new opportunities by the end of the month will start flooding in, or the other way around. Maybe those new opportunities start coming and flooding in from the same area in your life, while you're deciding that you want to remove the dead wood, which is Scorpio is the planet, the sign of death, and Venus is the planet of evaluation, and you would lovingly let go of something and let it die because something new is flooding into your life, some new opportunities, some new visions, some new people or ideas. So that's generally the whole overview for the month. And now let's check out for each sign, and check out your ascendant, sun, or moon sign. The three of them, basically, if you have time, where we talk about Venus retrograde and Jupiter moving forward. So, Capricorns, what are those transformations happening through Venus retrograde and those reevaluations in your life? Well, it's your friendships, the 11th house, that are being rethought, re-examined. There might be even some stressful situation there where is this a clash between you and your social group, whether on the internet or your friends somehow, especially around the 11th when Mars and Venus are square with each other, and when this can instigate some kind of head to head, and this can trigger this process of who do you keep in your life as a friend, especially female friends. You'll be re-evaluating very loved or female friends, which Venus rules both of those things, and they might be having something in their life that is their life is changing in some big way as well. So they're rethinking their life and the direction of your life, and that impacts you in some way as well. But yes, you will either decide to, you might be confronted by friends and say, like, if you want this friendship to continue, you have to recommit deep or change something to make it more fair and balanced for both sides. And if you're willing, or you might approach a friend and say this, I don't find this is nice or balanced. This is, if you want, you have to do this or that, or else, Scorpio is all or nothing. Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio is reevaluating your love for your friends because it's in your 11th house and your social alliances. All or nothing. You're all in. You're gonna do everything to commit, to improve it, to deepen it, or you're gonna dissolve it. You not dissolve it. It's like destroy it. Or there can be the rebirth of such relationship. Or maybe a friend from the past can get in touch with you. Someone you haven't seen for some time can reconnect again, and can somehow have an impact on your life in some way. Or 11th house is our gains. So maybe some gains that you've been working towards, was it a bonus or some promotion financially, for example, materially, like promotion in salary or something that you've asked for before and it's kind of didn't materialize. Now it can come back with Venus retrograde. It can come back so you can increase that financial income, but it's something that was from the past that you've worked in. It will give you an opportunity again to get it back in some way or to make it happen. But also you might be reevaluating how you if you have your own business, for example, that's the gains from your business, and you might have to rethink how you're doing everything there. You might feel like it's not as balanced. My gains there, they're not as equal. There's not as some rebudgeting might has to happen financially for you Capricorns in regards to gains. And 11th house is your goals, long-term goals. Well, Venus can help you rework some old long-term goal. Some old long-term goal, like it rules titles, honors, and recognitions, can come back to you. I remember when there was Venus retrograde in my 11th house 20 years ago, something like that. I received a stipend based on an achievement from 2 years earlier. So the whole year, the Rotary Club, based on that achievement much earlier, they decided to give me stipend. The 11th house is such things that against, but based on all things, or some recognition that you receive, award, but based on previous, because Venus is retrograde, based on previous achievements, on previous efforts of some sort. Or you might just revive some old goal of yours, or current goals that you have to reshape them, see with the ruthless eye of Scorpio, what if an old dream of yours that you currently still are dragging around, if it's dead donkey, so you just cut it off, it's no longer, so you don't no longer carry it around like a burden. So some goal you might trim or transform or eliminate, revisit, all those kind of things. But don't worry, even if you have to do that, even if you have to let go of some gains and revisit them, or some goals, or some old dreams, new such are coming, because Jupiter is moving direct in your 11th house, Capricorns, forward. And this means that simultaneously, while you're removing some old friends, new friends come, new social circle, new belonging to new groups. If you're letting go of some kind of gains and gainful, profitable activities, new such ones are being opened doors for in this within October, November, latest. If old dreams and wishes of yours, you're kind of realizing they're useless, or that you're letting them go or cutting them off, new such ones are appearing, which are much more brighter and excitable and much more going to be much more profitable in the long term. So that's, and also currently uh, Mars is in your second house, so you can move forward. It's financial house. Try not to take risks with finances when Mars is there, but there might be some big expense that you have to spend something on, because Mars transiting the second house often can bring that. But at the same time, Mars is moving forward ahead, so you are actively pursuing new resources, actively pursuing new financial income of some sort. So thank you so much, Capricorns, and I'll see you next month, where it's going to be much more intense.